This morning, we're following breaking news as police investigate an assault on UW-Madison's campus. And a massive amount of new documents are telling us more about the kidnapping of Jamie Kloss, what we now know. Plus, Brendan Dassey will not be pardoned by the state, why Governor Evers says his request wasn't accepted.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's December 21st, first day of winter.
Indeed.
We don't have snow outside, so look, Chris, we have snow for you indoors.
My heart is full.
Are you a little? I know it's not the same, but it'll do for now.
It'll do, because I'm sure eventually winter comes, around that time when no one wants it anymore.
No one wants it, but right now, really mild.
It feels good.
It does feel good.
It does feel good.
Yeah.
I will not deny it. Temperatures have been just very warm for us. And get this, it is also foggy. Surprise, as if we haven't had plenty of fog as we've gone through the past couple of days. Granted, it's not that foggy. Visibility is still 7 miles in Madison. But our friends, especially along the state line, dealing with the fog. 4-mile visibility in Monroe and Janesville. Boscobel down to half a mile visibility this morning. Folks, it's going to be a beautiful day. Temperature starting out at 30. Our normal high this time of the year is 28. So we're starting out the day with warmer than average temperatures. We're at 27 in Janesville, Lone Rock at 23, Boscobel at 19 right now. Black River Falls coming in at 6 degrees. Let's look ahead and go throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Look for those temperatures to be into the mid-30s by 10 o'clock. 39 by 12, and then we'll also see those temperatures working their way into the low 40s. Look for afternoon highs topping out right around 43, and we get even milder as we go through the week ahead. I think we're going to be close to 50, if not at 50 some of these days. But then there is a return of winter that I'm tracking either on or just after Christmas. We're going to talk about that as well.
I know you and I are wearing our festive Christmas sweaters, but we don't really need them with this kind of weather.
No,
I feel
we
like
really don't.
This is one of those days where we're going to see a lot of people walking around in shorts outside. People really embrace
especially
any kind
in Wisconsin.
I know.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, for me, I'm used to it because this is Kentucky Christmas weather right here.
Right.
In Texas, it's in the 60s and 70s typically on Christmas. So I'm used to wearing sweaters for Christmas no matter how warm it is.
Yeah, you got to dress for the occasion, not for the weather.
That's exactly what we're going to do today.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, we start with breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. A man is facing felony charges after a victim was found injured on the UW campus. UW PD officers responded to a call for a man who was injured outside of Vilas Hall Thursday at around 9 in the morning. During their investigation, officers learned that the incident was also a robbery. After a few more interviews and some investigating, police were able to identify the suspect. That's 58-year-old Joseph Detweiler. He is now arrested and in the Dane County Jail this morning. Also breaking overnight, Madison police are looking for a suspect who broke into a tattoo parlor overnight. It happened around 1 this morning on Willie Street. A caller said the window to the front door of Steve's Tattoo was broken out and the door open. A store manager said when he got there, someone had gone through several workstations and 2 power units worth $350 each were gone. Before the burglary was reported, a witness said they saw someone loading something into a dark sedan, but police don't know if that is related to this case. A massive amount of documents are helping us learn more about the Jamie Kloss kidnapping. The Barron and Douglas County Sheriff's Office and the Department of Criminal Investigations released hours of dashcam video, body cam audio, and hundreds of pages of documents, many of which are redacted. Also released was the initial 911 call made by Jamie's mother just moments before her death. However, we have chosen not to air that portion. Here's what we know now. The bedroom Jamie was held in didn't have a lock on the door. When questioned after his arrest, Jake Patterson, the man behind all of this, claimed he didn't think that far ahead. He says he was just counting on Jamie being so scared that she wouldn't leave. Patterson also says that he bought clothes and toiletries for her, and they would go on walks in the backyard. Patterson has since pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder and kidnapping. He is serving 2 consecutive life sentences. Brendan Dassey will not be pardoned by the state. Governor Evers' pardon board is denying the request, saying Dassey is ineligible. Dassey and his uncle, Stephen Avery, were convicted of the killing of freelance photographer Teresa Halbach in Manitowoc County in 2005. A release from the governor's office says the board requires 5 years to have passed after finishing a sentence in order for them to consider a pardon. Dassey is currently serving a life sentence. The family of the 2 Wisconsin men who disappeared during an out-of-state business trip are filing a wrongful death lawsuit. You'll remember Justin and Nicholas Dimmel went to Missouri on a trip for their livestock business over the summer. The lawsuit was filed last month in Missouri against Garland Nelson, who is in jail without bond on 2 counts of first-degree murder and other charges relating to Dimmel's brother's death. The United States Space Force is official after President Trump signed the National Defense Authorization Act into law yesterday. It's the first new service since the U.S. Air Force was created in 1947.
With my signature today, you will witness the birth of the Space Force, and that will be now officially the 6th branch of the United States Armed Forces. That is something really incredible.
The president appointed General John Raymond to be the first chief of space operations. A senior U.S. Air Force official says around 6,000 members of the current U.S. Air Force Space Force Command will eventually be transferred to the Space Force, but it could eventually reach 15,000. More than $700 billion in defense funding will go into this force, providing military with new equipment and a pay raise. Well, just days after being impeached, President Trump says he'll accept Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's invitation to give next year's State of the Union address. In a letter, Speaker Pelosi notes that she invited him, quote, in the spirit of respecting our Constitution. Back in 1999, former President Bill Clinton gave his State of the Union address in the middle of his impeachment trial. The speech will take place on February 4th, 2020, which may fall in the middle of his impeachment trial in the Senate. Well, all of us understand not everyone can be a teacher, and there's a woman at Our Lady of Peace School who is just meant to be one. Charlotte Deleste has this month's top-notch teacher.
Good afternoon. Today we are on daily word problem 54. I have been on a school calendar my entire life.
A calendar Katie Aspinwall has shared with hundreds of kids in the Madison and Milwaukee areas.
But my entire career, I have never said I have to go to work. It's always I get to go to school.
3 years ago, Mrs. Aspinwall retired. She went back to school to become a CNA, but realized she missed the old school calendar too much.
Oh, it was absolutely my calling. I know that 100%. It was absolutely my calling.
Now she's spending her 40th year teaching 5th graders at Our Lady Queen of Peace School in Madison.
I'm teaching social studies, I'm teaching math, I'm teaching English, I'm teaching spelling, all these different subjects.
Subjects that matter, but not as much as this.
You have to have fun. You have to walk through these doors every day knowing that your day is going to be full of laughter and full of fun. And of course, there are going to be challenging days. We all have them.
And when things just don't add up, she pulls out this unsuspecting shoebox of saved cards and letters from past parents and students for the kick she needs.
Dear Mrs. Aspinwall, thank you for the notebook and pens. When I start to understand a math formula and what the problem is asking for, the problem becomes a fun activity for me. And I think that you really helped me improve. When I do have a difficult day, I go home and I open them up and I read them and I realize that's why I am in education.
She's in education because of them. All of them.
I care deeply about each and every one of them. They touch my heart.
80.
They collaborate so well together, and they know it's we sink or swim together. I mean, the makeup of that classroom, those kids are together for a reason. I believe that. I believe they're together for a reason.
Which makes Mrs. Aspinwall really excited for what lies ahead, which does not include retirement.
I'm not even thinking about it. It's nowhere in my near future.
Mrs. Aspinwall, congratulations and thank you for doing what you do every day. If you know a teacher who is top-notch, you can nominate them at channel3000.com. Click on the News tab and then Education tab, and you'll find the top-notch teacher applications right there. A 13-year-old Wisconsin girl is helping raise money to fight cancer with her nonprofit organization called Fighting Cancer with Grace. Grace Fuse's mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when Grace was just 7 years old. While her mom was recovering from surgeries, chemo, and radiation, Grace saw friends and family generously give their time, gifts, and meals to help her mom. This inspired Grace to help create happiness for other cancer patients. This holiday season, she's making care packages.
One of my first steps were I made a goal of how many care packages I wanted to make, which was 20. And then I made glassware. I personalized glassware for people, and I sold them, and then I put all that money towards care packages.
The care packages were made at De Pere Middle School and will be delivered to the Vince Lombardi Cancer Center. It is a big day for Badger sports fans. The UW volleyball team is taking on reigning champs Stanford in the NCAA championship game tonight. At the beginning of the tournament, head coach Kelly Sheffield told us that the Big Ten prepares his players so well for the national stage because this conference is just that strong. That experience has definitely helped the Badgers so far. They knocked off #1 seeded Baylor on Thursday, and now they'll take on Stanford's decorated program. But Coach Sheffield says no stage is too big for his Badgers.
You know, our team's not going to flinch tomorrow. You know, I've been around them enough. I know them well enough to know. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to win. You know, that other team on the other side of the net is a special team, very well coached. You know, they'll come in with a lot of confidence, but I'd be surprised if the stage is too big for our group either.
Living in the moment. I think we've talked about that throughout this whole postseason, is just living in the moment and taking in the moments of how big the crowd is and how awesome it is that our sport brings in so many fans.
Well, the big game is tonight at 7 p.m. in Pittsburgh. You can watch it on ESPN2, and we'll have the highlights on News 3 Now at 10. Former Badger basketball head coach Bo Ryan is a candidate for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame's 2020 class. Ryan led the Badgers to 2 consecutive NCAA Final Four appearances, including the championship game in 2015. Finalists for the award will be announced in February. It is 8:11, and coming up, it is the first day of winter, but feeling a little bit more like the first day of spring. This is a live look over the Capitol. Chris is tracking kind of a mild forecast for us. That's all ahead.
for first, fast, accurate weather updates. Watch First Alert Weather.
Well, hello, folks. We are waking up to a very mild day. And I'll tell you what, this weather is going to feel good as we go through the next several days, as the milder weather is going to be sticking around for us. Get this, for 7 years in history, Christmas has been warmer than Halloween. And I think this year is going to be the 8th year. After we saw the white Halloween, I think we are going to see a warmer and much browner or greener, if you will, Christmas around here in southern Wisconsin. Folks, we've got mild weather going on today, and we get milder into tomorrow and the day after. We're also staying quiet all the way until Christmas Eve. It's not until Christmas Day or just after that I think our pattern turns a little bit more active again and perhaps a little bit more wintry as well. Here's the weather setup right now. High pressure is over the Ohio Valley. That's sending those winds out of the south. We have a warm front draped across the upper Midwest. That's going to be moving our direction as we go through today, bringing in those warmer temperatures for this afternoon and into tomorrow. But there's not a ton of moisture to the atmosphere. Yes, there's just enough for a little bit of fog in some spots this morning. But other than that, I don't think we have enough for any type of precipitation as we go through time. Sunshine outside right now. The temperature at 30 degrees. Wind chills are in the mid-20s with winds out of the south and southwest at 5 miles per hour. Janesville is at 27 right now. We jump over towards Lone Rock. That is where the temperature is at 23. But let's put this into motion and go throughout the rest of your day. Here we are by lunchtime. Temperatures are into the upper 30s at that point. We'll see them topping out into the low 40s for highs this afternoon and even into tonight. I don't think our lows are going to fall below freezing. If they are able to do so, it'll get very close to the freezing mark. By Sunday, 48 degrees, 47 into your Monday, and I do think some folks in the viewing area do hit 50 on both of those days. But once we get past Christmas, look at what happens on Thursday. You see those 30s coming back into the picture as our pattern tries to get colder at this point, and we may even still have to adjust those numbers downwards just a little bit. This is all due to our changing upper air weather pattern. Yes, this is the mild setup where you see that ridge of warmth across the center part of the country, but on Christmas Day, the colder air pours into the western half of the country, and I think that sticks through at least the last weekend of 2019. What we'll have to watch for is whether or not a system develops after Christmas that could bring some wintry weather. This is just one model of future track. It does show some rain arriving this weekend that transitions over to a period of some snow on Sunday. We still have plenty of time to track what happens with that, but nonetheless, that's the next appreciable chance of any kind of precipitation that we are going to be watching through your forecast. So stay tuned through the next several days as we try to fine-tune those details. In the meantime, enjoy the beautiful weather that we are going to be having, folks. I think this is Mother Nature's gift to us in Wisconsin because we know what winter is typically like around here. So let's soak up the sun and just have a good time.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, even though today might not feel like it, it is the official day of winter. That also means today is the shortest day of the year. People came together at the Aldo Leopold Center. It's their 25th year celebrating the winter solstice. People take today as a day to reflect, but also to move forward, making some wishes for their hopes to come true.
I just want folks to have a reason to get outside sometimes. Just getting people out and making plans for the winter and celebrating.
And if you're not a fan of the short days and long nights, the good news is the days get longer from now until late June. Time right now, 8:18, and coming up after the break, we have a new song for you to add to your holiday playlist as we get into the holiday swing. And there are several new shows and movies to check out this weekend. Will shares his picks and 3 things to watch. Trending news is just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
It is a beautiful weather day here throughout South Central Wisconsin. Plenty of sunshine as we begin the morning. And folks, I'm happy to say that's what's going to be sticking around as we go through the day, along with those milder temperatures. This morning, we are starting things out right at 30 degrees. Look at what happens as we go through time. 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock rather. Temperatures will be right around 36, 39 by lunch. We'll see them topping out right around 41 as we move into this afternoon. And get this, there's more where that came from. We're tracking even milder temperatures by the time we get you towards Sunday and Monday. Keely?
All right, Chris, if you like country music, you're going to want to listen up. If you've been getting into the holiday spirit by listening to Christmas music, we have another song you can add to your playlist. Country singer Keith Urban's new song, I'll Be Your Santa Tonight, is officially out this morning. It's his first Christmas song, and he is excited for people to listen.
People kept asking me if I would ever do a Christmas song, and I thought, well, I'd love to write one, would be kind of cool. And the idea for the song came really quickly, and the sort of retro feel of it felt right.
There's also a video to go along with the new song, and it's now available on music streaming services like iTunes and Spotify. Well, it is a busy week in the theaters, but there are plenty of movies and things you can do right in the comfort of your own home. Here is Will Loper's 3 Things to Watch.
Control, you getting that over?
New on home video this week is the film Ad Astra.
This might come as quite a shock to you. Your father was experimenting with a highly classified material that could threaten our entire solar system.
Brad Pitt must go to space to try and find his father and save the planet from mysterious electrical surges.
Exploration isn't always a noble venture.
Ad Astra is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
What is that plant?
It's oregano. Your gardener gave it to me.
You're very popular.
I just try to be myself.
Whenever I try to be myself, people don't seem to like me very much.
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the film The Two Popes.
I've struggled to do what must be done, but I've lost.
Popes can't resign. If you do this, you will damage the papacy forever.
I can no longer sit on the chair of St. Peter.
You're mistaken. You are...
I cannot play this role anymore.
Anthony Hopkins stars as Pope Benedict, showing his tenure as Pope and his relationship to Pope Francis, played by Jonathan Pryce.
There's a saying, God always corrects one pope by presenting the world with another pope. I should quite like to see my correction.
Reform needs a politician.
The most important qualification for any leader is not wanting to be leader.
It's not me who needs to be satisfied. It's 1.2 billion believers.
The Two Popes is available to stream on Netflix now.
And the book says we may be through with the past, but the past is not through with us.
Finally, this week marks the 20-year anniversary of the film Magnolia.
I'm Stanley Spector.
There is the story of a boy genius.
Willa Cather, Thomas Kidd, Jean-Baptiste Clairvoyant,
and the game show host.
I'm Jimmy Gator.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, Julianne Moore, Tom Cruise, and many more star in the film that follows multiple stories of people who are grappling with the relationships with their parents and how it affects their own lives.
This is not an easy job. I have to take everything and play it as it lays. Sometimes people need a little help. Sometimes people need to be forgiven. And that is a very tricky thing on my part, making that call.
Magnolia is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
But it's not going to stop.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Well, there's much more ahead on News 3 this morning, Saturday. Next, we are running through the morning's top stories. Plus, a Rock County family is waking up at home this morning for the first time in more than 5 months. Why this holiday season will be extra special for the Bouchers. That's coming up next. We'll be right back. This morning, we're following some breaking news as police investigate an assault on the UW campus. Plus, the man who attacked a UW-Madison graduate student will be serving prison time. We'll tell you why his sentence is actually longer than what many had expected. Plus, Governor Evers is looking for applicants to lead the National Guard. We'll tell you if you fit the criteria next.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's December 21st. I'm Keely Arthur. We're going to get a check on your first alert forecast with a very dancy Chris Reese, but in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. We're learning more about Jamie Kloss's kidnapping after officials released hours of dash cam video, body cam audio, and hundreds of pages of documents, many of which are redacted. Here's what we do know. The bedroom where Jake Patterson held Jamie did not have a lock on the door. Patterson says he was counting on her being too scared to try to leave. He also says that he bought clothes and toiletries for her and they would go on walks in his backyard. Patterson is currently serving 2 consecutive life sentences. And Brendan Dassey will not be pardoned by the state. Governor Evers' pardon board is denying that request, saying Dassey is ineligible. Dassey and his uncle, Stephen Avery, were convicted of the killing of Teresa Halbach in Manitowoc County back in 2005. The board requires 5 years to have passed after finishing a sentence in order for them to consider a pardon. Dassey is currently serving a life sentence. And just days after being impeached, President Trump says he'll accept Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's invitation to give next year's State of the Union address. In a letter, Speaker Pelosi notes that she invited him, quote, in the spirit of respecting our Constitution. This speech will take place on February 4th, 2020, which may fall in the middle of his impeachment trial in the Senate. And switching gears now to Chris Reese. Chris, I know it's not snowy, but it's warm. Lots to be happy about in this forecast.
Plenty to be happy about, Keely. We are watching warmer temperatures that are going to be moving in today, and there's not a lot of moisture to create any kind of rain. So I think we're going to be in store for a beautiful day. There's a little bit of fog out there in some spots, especially as you work your way towards the state line. Visibility comes down to 4 miles for Janesville and Monroe. Boscobel, the worst off spot right now with visibility right around a mile. But folks, it's going to get even better than where it is now. Our visibility in Madison at 7 miles. Expect that to continue to increase as we go throughout the morning. 30 is our temperature as we begin to head out the door. For reference, our normal high for this day, 28. So we're already warmer than where we typically top out for the warmest part of the day on the first day of winter. Winds continue out of the south. That's going to help things continue to warm up this afternoon. 27 in Janesville right now. Black River Falls coming in at 8. Let's go ahead and look forward as we go through the next couple of hours. By 12 o'clock, temperatures will be knocking on the door of 40s. By 2 o'clock, I think we begin to exceed that 40-degree temperature. In fact, as we move forward into the afternoon, look for that high topping off right around 40. But we're going to get even milder as we go into the days ahead. We're going to tell you how mild we're going to get and when I think we could see a return back to a more wintry-like pattern in about 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. We continue with breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center overnight. A man is facing felony charges after a victim was found injured on UW's campus. UW PD officers responded to a call for a man who was injured outside of Vilas Hall Thursday at around 9 in the morning. During their investigation, officers learned that incident was also a robbery, and after a few more interviews and some more investigating, police were able to identify the suspect. That's 58-year-old Joseph Detweiler. He is now in the Dane County Jail this morning. Also breaking overnight, Madison police are looking for a suspect who broke into a tattoo parlor overnight. It happened around 1 this morning on Willie Street. A caller said the window to the front door of Steve's Tattoo was broken out and the door open. A store manager said when he got there, someone had gone through several workstations and took 2 power units worth $350 each. Before the burglary was reported, a witness said they saw someone loading something into a dark sedan, but police don't know if that's related to this case. And the man who attacked a UW-Madison graduate student downtown last year will spend 20 years in prison. Dorian Wade pleaded guilty to the brutal sexual assault of a stranger near East Johnson and North Blair Streets. Wade's attorney asked for 4 years in prison. Prosecutors asked for 18, but because the judge felt Wade lied in a letter before he was sentenced and didn't seem to have any remorse, he got 20 years in prison plus 10 years extended supervision. Governor Evers says he's actively looking for applicants to lead the National Guard. The appointment will fill a position left vacant after Major General Donald Dunbar resigns effective December 31st. The appointment is for a 5-year term. To be eligible, an applicant needs to hold the federally recognized minimum rank of full colonel. And for a list of other qualifications and how to apply, we have that information up on our website. Overseas this morning, Brexit is officially approved by British lawmakers. It is the first step towards fulfilling Prime Minister Boris Johnson's election promise to deliver the UK's departure early next year. After the Parliament returns from their recess, they have 3 days set aside in January for more discussions about the withdrawal agreement. The expectation now is that Britain will leave the European Union on January 31st. And right now, Ford is issuing a massive recall for 3 of its past sedans for a brake issue. It impacts people who drive the 2006 through 2010 Ford Fusion, Mercury Milan, and the Lincoln MKZ. Ford is issuing a massive recall for 3 of its past sedans. In total, Ford says more than 600,000 cars may have a problem with the hydraulic control unit. And we have new video this morning of a house fire here in Wisconsin that has 6 people displaced this morning. Take a look at this fire. A massive fire left a duplex with some serious damage. Other buildings were burnt to the ground. The fire started at around 3 in the morning yesterday, and it was caused by what people are saying a gas leak. Several homes nearby were evacuated as crews worked to contain the fire and the leak. Luckily, no one was hurt. Residents say the fire alarms did not go off. And now fire officials are stressing the importance of not only having alarms, but making sure they also work. A Rock County family is waking up at home this morning for the first time in more than 5 months. A holiday tragedy for the Boucher family caused them to lose their home and everything in it back in the summer. But with some help and some hard work, this holiday is feeling very different.
A fire on the 4th of July. An unfortunate surprise Chief Randall Pickering won't forget.
It's just one of those images because of the size and the amount of fire. And just the emotion that was going on when we pulled up.
And while the Boucher family was saved, their home was not.
When I talked to the homeowner that first morning and he had told me what had happened, I was like, boy, you're lucky it got out.
The person putting the pieces back together knew it could take 6 months to a year, but he was determined to turn a holiday tragedy into a holiday miracle.
I started plugging the numbers in with all the contractors that were involved. It was a real possibility if everything went like a military operation, we could get this done by Christmas.
5 days a week for the last 3 months. The family with no clue how far things had come.
Come on in!
Oh my gosh.
Until tonight. A move-in ready home, ready for the holidays.
That's the least I could do, try to give you a Christmas miracle.
Complete with decorations and all.
Engineer bought you the tree.
Chief Pickering with a new moment.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
He'll never forget.
There are so many angels out there that we just don't realize it. And this time of year, it's kind of a great time to realize we live in a pretty special world.
Oh my gosh.
In a family with a brand new home for this Christmas and each one to follow.
We were planning on not having Christmas here, but now we could.
We can bring some hot chocolate and sit around the tree.
We can start living life again.
Oh, what a great happy ending. Just months ago, the Good Samaritans who helped save the family from the burning home were honored with life-saving awards from the Edgerton Fire Department. Chief Pickering says when he looks back at this story, he sees angels in every facet of it. Well, I believe that. Looking for something to do this weekend? We have got you covered, from a holiday play to getting in a round of golf. Yeah, you heard me right. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. It is the weekend in the 608, and the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra is teaming up with the Madison Ballet to bring a beloved production back to the Overture Center.
150 dancers portray the Sugar Plum Fairies, Mouse King, and a host of tin soldiers in the Nutcracker, which you can watch the entire cast dance to the Tchaikovsky classic.
Nailed it.
Yay, nice. Look, they'll score through this weekend and next weekend at the Center's Overture Hall.
Very fun. And if you want to take the kids for a festive breakfast to start the day, Yola's Cafe is hosting a Waffles and Santa and Mrs. Claus this morning. You still have time to get your ticket and go at 9:30 at the Dream House Dream Kitchens over in Verona. You want to make sure you buy your tickets online since space is limited. You'll be able to eat your waffles, meet the jolly couple, and even get a chance to make some holiday arts and crafts. It's $20 per person, and kids under 2 get to eat free.
And if you're looking to get a round of golf in, call your favorite caddy and get one last round in. That's right. The Odana Hills Golf Course is open through the weekend, making it the latest opening for any golf course ever. The previous latest opening was December 12th. Now, the course says there aren't any reserved tee times and no carts will be allowed.
That's what makes golfing fun, is cruising around in the golf cart. We are waking up to some warmer temperatures on this first day of winter.
That's right. You're looking live over the Capitol right now. Some beautiful sunshine outside, but we're going to talk about the warmer temperatures and when we could see a return of winter.
All right. First, though, let's take a look at who is turning 3 today. Happy birthday. We'll be right back.
Happy Saturday, folks. We are still. Hey, Keely. How are you? Oh my God.
I was like captivated watching you. I was ready for the weather.
All right, take it away, Chris.
We are under the influence of high pressure down towards the south. That's sending those winds out of the south. That means we're going to be warming up as we go through time, folks. Look for the warm front that you see to head our direction as we go through the rest of the day and temperatures begin to take off. Thankfully, though, our air is relatively dry, so we don't have the snow. We don't have any rain associated with this. We may see a few passing clouds coming in with the warm front, but other than that, I do think it's going to generally be a beautiful day. 30 degrees right now, very few clouds out there, winds coming out of the south and southwest at 5 miles per hour. That is creating that wind chill down at 25, but things do improve for us in time. 27 in Janesville right now, Lone Rock coming in at 23, Black River Falls at 11. Let's put this into motion, shall we? 11 o'clock, temperatures right around 38 degrees. Then we get towards the peak heating of the day. Right around 4 o'clock, temperatures will be at that point into the low and mid 40s for a lot of us. Overnight tonight, those winds stay out of the south. We start to see a little cloud cover, maybe even some fog developing Check out those lows, though. They fall into the 30s. It's possible that some overnight lows do remain above freezing, and then we're going to make it into the mid-40s as we head into tomorrow, too. In fact, I think it's the upper 40s moving into your Sunday. Same for Monday. Check it out. We're within 3 degrees of 50 both of those days. This is Christmas. We have a forecast high of 42 right now. That would be warmer than our white Halloween, where we got 5 inches of snow and the high was 32. But then our temperatures gradually come back down through time. Our average high towards the end of the next 10 days is 27. There are no highs forecast to be in the 20s as we go through the next several days. But I think we start to see some changes. Here's our ridge of warmth that's keeping our warmer temperatures around. But this is now stopping Christmas morning. Pay attention to the colder air starting to pour into the western half of the country. This moves in as I think we get into the last weekend of 2019, and it is possible to see a storm system along with that. This is Christmas Day. Notice we're cloudy. There might be a weak system with some flurries or some drizzle on Christmas Day. But what I'm paying attention to is the Saturday and Sunday after Christmas. I think a system comes our direction from the south that'll start out as rain initially, perhaps going over to a period of some snow on the backside of that. We're still a week away. That means we have plenty of time to truly fine-tune the details and really kind of nail down the track of this system, what kind of cold air we're going to see, if there's going to be enough cold air. But that is why I have that chance for rain and snow in our forecast for next Sunday. In the meantime, enjoy a beautiful next couple of days before the clouds return on Christmas Eve. Maybe even some fog for Rudolph, and then those chances for some showers and flurries for the day after Christmas.
This just does not look like a true December forecast in any way.
It does not. This is very much a Kentucky and Texas December-like forecast.
So you feel right at home.
I do, but I left there for a reason around Christmas time.
He came to Wisconsin because he wanted the snow and cold.
I know, but you know, it feels good. It's very homey since I can't be home for the holidays.
Oh,
home came to me.
Home came to you.
I know. How sweet.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
First, we want to introduce you, we are going to turn it to our News 3 My Morning photo. This is a photo sent in by Mel Thompson. Thank you so much for sharing. Check out that gorgeous sunrise. What does your morning look like? You can share your photo, and we might share it on our air. And there's more News 3 Now tonight at 6 and 10. But first, we'll introduce you to Glenn, a Wisconsin farmer whose Christmas gift came early and is already changing his life. Welcome back. A Wisconsin farmer has lived and worked without a hand for 48 years.
But this year, a very special Christmas gift came early. Amanda Lajowski explains why.
I can remember the day like it was yesterday.
At just 10 years old,
I put my hand into a piece of machinery, and it basically pulled it off like a glove.
it's been 48 years since Glenn Tributowski lost his left hand.
Being on the farm, they didn't feel sorry for you because there was chores to be done.
And as any farmer would do.
So as soon as I healed up, let's get back out there and get your chores done.
And life went on.
I adapted, and basically there wasn't anything I couldn't do.
However, 3 months ago, his life changed, a cough forcing him to the doctor's office.
After a while, she says, "You got to meet my husband." I said, "What? Your husband?" "Yes, he does prosthetics." And she literally had me in tears.
He was pretty broken. The hope was gone. What do you have if you don't have hope?
I said, "I can't, no, this can't be true." And I've never hugged a nurse practitioner, but that day I did. I hugged her twice.
He may have hugged my wife twice, but he hugged me 3 times.
In a matter of a week and a visit to Ohio, a team of professionals created a personalized prosthetic hand.
If you would, please. And then we blow it up. Blow it up. I've got 48 Christmases in one because it was something I never dreamed of. And all of a sudden, in 3 months' time, it was here.
Now his life is changed forever.
Let's blow it up, baby.
Now, Glenn also had a message to other farmers who might have gone through something similar. He says there are resources to help you get back on your feet.
Glenn's new hand actually works with a Bluetooth. He even has an app on his phone.
That is crazy. Technology is amazing.
That's insane. There's so many things you can do with an app nowadays.
And you can track the weather using technology.
But you want to see my face. So
yes.
here's what's going on.
I mean, you can, Chris.
That's right. That's right. All right, here's what's going on. As we go through the rest of the next couple of days, it is going to be downright beautiful. What's that temperature on Sunday, Keely?
48.
What's that 2 degrees away from?
50.
That's right.
Whoa.
I know.
Putting me on the spot with mathematics, Chris?
I thought you were going to say 46. It's all good. But the weather's just nice as we go through the next several days.
Oh my gosh, I am so happy about it. You can hang out with Chris and I again tomorrow morning. Thanks.